Peace and Black Power. Welcome to another edition of Baba TV, House of Consciousness, Street Consciousness, like Brother Sarnetta used to name all his DVDs, Street Consciousness 101, and we are continuing that information on the street where the masses of our people are, and right across the street from the Apollo Theater. And in just a minute or two, I will be bringing on the spokesman for the House of Consciousness, Brother Sankofa.
If they come back and take it, I'm riding for sure. Yeah, my fist to the sky, yeah, I'm riding for sure. They come back and take it, yeah, I'm riding for sure. Yeah, my fist to the sky, yeah, I'm riding for sure. If they come back and take it, yeah, I'm riding for sure. Yeah, my fist to the sky, yeah, I'm riding for sure. If they come back and take it, yeah, I'm riding for sure. They wanna call us terrorists, black terrorists. They wanna call us terrorists, black terrorists, terrorists. They wanna call us what? Black terrorists, terrorists. They want it, ain't no time for the war. I'm ready to fight if they take a side of Shakur. I ain't worried, ain't no drama no more. Put your fists up and pull your guns out, and what you riding for? Dying for colors, should be dying for your mother.
Oh man, peace and black power to you, brother Baba TV. Peace and black power to the family out there viewing. Black people, I love y'all, man. I love my people. That's right. That's the spirit we're rolling on. Does that mean that I sleep on the enemies within? Oh, hell no. I love our people enough to do what I got to do against that opposition when necessary. However, out of love, because the greatest form of love that you can show, besides just a word, a slogan, a term, an emotion, is an action. I come out of here in the spirit of love to talk to the people, to tell them what's on my mind. Sankofa is not a PhD. Sankofa doesn't have peer reviews, anything's out.
Say it again?
Sankofa doesn't have peer review, well, it's reviewed amongst my peers.
Because we are the what? We are the autodidacts.
Yes, but I am autodidactive, self-taught. You know what I'm saying? That essence of that God, that God gene, if you will, that is encoded within us, CMP, cellular memory phenomenon, that exists within all of us. I've tapped into that at a young age. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm even thinking about endeavoring and going back to school to, you know, get a little bit of a PhD under my belt. You know what I'm saying? Not for aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? But just for the point of furthering education, going in there with the foundation that I already have would be an asset to me. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a lot of people that have PhDs, that have peer-reviewed books, and you can be a scholar, but being a scholar doesn't mean you're teaching truth. What do you think about that? You have Catholic scholars, Catholic colleges, all throughout the Jesuit colleges, as they're known, and you have scholars in there on a lie. You have scholars in American history from an Aryan perspective, but it's half-truths, full of lies, rewritten history, misrepresentation history, and a stolen legacy. So being a scholar is good, but it's not good enough if it's not being rooted in truth, and truth for us should be a liberation-type message for black people. Reason why I don't get into religion a lot, you see a lot of different debates, a lot of people, it's no secret, it's old news now. Sankofa, the former Hebrew Israelite, damn right. Damn right, former Hebrew Israelite, and proud of that. Let me tell you why. I wouldn't be talking to you today about what I'm talking to you today had not I went through that school. That happened at a time in my life where a lot of different vultures was out there in the world. Crack era, rampant, gunplay, wild. It was just hostile environment. And, you know, the cost of living was high, just like now. Chances of living was the cost of living was very high, and the chances of living, of getting killed was extremely high. You see what I'm saying? So to find something that's like a brotherhood with a message of liberation, I was always militant. I always knew something was wrong, and always wanted to find out what that was. You know what I'm saying? Being a product of the church teaching, not that I knew the Bible or really even cared about it or paid attention in Sunday school, but the familiarity, the brain The subconscious mind works off of familiarity. So that which I always, in the back of my mind, thought was divine, the Bible. Granddaddy was a Reverend George O'Neill back in Boston. When somebody came with a message talking about the stuff that is in this book that you've been taught about it, was a lie. The truth of it, these people were black. Your liberation is in there. For a person that's young, seeking knowledge, you damn right. That put me on a path to want to start to investigate, to study, to reevaluate my perception of my people and in myself, and to really start to dig deep into studying. But what that also did is led me into, I had such an insatiable desire, such an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. The more I started to dig myself out of the grave of the Bible itself, from the black perspective or the white. Whole nother topic for a whole nother time. Just laying some framework and some little bit of tapestry of, where we're going. Because what we're doing right now, we're just freestyling out of love for the people. Always got a message to bring. So instead of talking about religious dogma or debating about what the absolute truth is, because there is no absolute truth. Everything is fragmented. Everything is acquired knowledge. Everything is limited knowledge. And it is subject to be proven false, some aspects of it, as an ever-evolving and advancing people, because everything advances and evolves, information is too. When we hold things as absolute facts that can't be challenged, because if so, you're going to burn on the eternal rotisserie for eternity, in hell, because you've questioned something. These days are going in, a whole new paradigm of consciousness is being ushered in, okay? We represent that consciousness, not we as in me, and Brother Danny from the Dagger Squad, not Baba TV, not you viewers out there who are doing researches, because a lot of y'all are unsung teachers, heroes and sheroes out there too. But you know what I'm saying? I'm going to this right here. What we do, right, is I got to deal with things that are pertinent for the here and the now. Liberation of black people. We can talk about religion. We could talk about dogma and concepts and ideas. That is your personal opinion. I'm like Malcolm X, and I'm holding this book up for a reason. I will go into why I'm holding this up. And I always like to give the viewers, because I did with a study group called the Uniteam. Shout out to my brothers, the Uniteam. Big L, Brother Al Almighty. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Raina, okay? We always get into studying. It's very important that you study, but put things in proper perspective, okay? Now, I believe like what Malcolm X said. I'm going into something else now. You distracted me. You know what I'm saying? Like what Malcolm X said. In real talk. Nah, but I don't like that. You fucking with me. I can see you. I feel you. The white man was here talking. You wouldn't get it. The other book's in there. That's a whole nother topic. All right, cut it out, man. I give you the scissors. You just cut it out. All right? So, like I was saying, Malcolm X said, when it comes in the ballad of the bullet, right? Or was it? Yeah, it was the ballad of the bullet. He said, Islam is my personal religion. This is what he says, not mine. Islam is my personal religion, but I leave my religion at home. You know what I'm saying? I deal with the political philosophy of black nationalism. That was so profound on so many levels. You know why? Because this is what we're dealing with. Look at this book right here by Andrew Hacker, New York Times bestseller. Okay, black, white, separate, hostile, and unequal. Our problems are political and racial, which trickles down into politics, economics, and other areas of people activity. Our problems are not just religious. You know what I'm saying? You're not being persecuted and hated because you're a Muslim black man. You're not being hated and persecuted because you're a Moor. You're not being hated and persecuted because you're not the right kind of Christian denomination. It's because you're black at the root of that. You gave the world all these concepts and ideas that they done watered down, distorted, remixed, and gave back to you, and got us trying to imitate the imposter. That's right. Got us trying to imitate the imposter. The person or the peoples who've taken sciences that we've given the world, art, math, music, high sciences, astronomy, you know what I'm saying, and other higher sciences, and had basically turned that into what we call the religious paradigm and dogma today, that has us divided, hating each other, wanting to kill each other, very disrespectful of each other, and it's become a wedge between us as far as us having principled, okay, unity. being proactively endeavoring on unity, okay? That's why when Malcolm X said, I deal with the political philosophy of black nationalism, I leave my religion at home, that was powerful. You know why? Because our problem is not religious. Our problem is race and politics, which trickles into other areas of people activity. So I feel as though, how do we get our people to wake up? We said we got to teach the people the truth. In order to get our people to wake up, we got to debate all these lies. I'm not going to say we should take that idea off the table, but I think we've gotten so caught up into that egotism, it's become entertainment. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people, a lot of egotism. And then, hold up, at the end of these debates, lectures, intellectual exchanges, which we do need, we never progress into the topic of what do we do from here. It seems like people get more angry, divisive, shady, you know what I'm saying, towards each other over that, and we become the wedge that's keeping us divided. It gets even more magnified. It gets bigger. So what we got to realize is that as a people, we're at war. Our problems are racial and political. So I deal with the racial political dynamic, black nationalism, okay? Now that's up for debate too. But when I say black, I'm not getting to semantics. I'm talking to the people, because language has to be relatable to the people in order for them to understand and want to even listen to you or give any kind of heed to what you're saying, okay? So we're going to deal with that. When I say black power, that is diametrically in opposition to what white and white power means. When I say that, and I'm not blind and lost to think that that is a nationality. You know what I'm saying? I've been studying for too long, and I say this humbly, and too aware of too many things. You know what I'm saying? But you have to talk to the people in the language in which they understand and understand. Okay? You can't talk. You got to talk to them. Don't talk through them. You see what I'm saying? So when I deal with the political philosophy of nationalism, black nationalism, that is what we need. Group economics. That goes into that. Block voting. People are going to be into some people, politics don't work. I'm not saying it absolutely does. It does work against you, though. So if you're not involved in any kind of process and everybody else is involved in that process but you think your situation is bad, your lack of participation and exhaustion, different measures and being knowledgeable in different areas helps you to kind of participate in the demise that we're seeing, in the decadence that we're dealing with. So just some things to think about, you know what I mean? Out of love, not emotion, because emotion is subject to change. You love somebody when it's convenient because they are putting money into your PayPal, or they're coming to pack your events, so you love the people then. But should somebody dare disagree with your perspective, idea, and critique you, even if it's constructive, a lot of people, they get, you have to question their love and even their motives and even what is their objective in being in this. See, our struggle has become a hustle. I said our struggle for some has become a hustle. The message of black liberation, okay? Going out to outreach to the people for some has become the new hustle. And it's not that it's nothing new. It's just more visual and color, sound, and motion in this social media network era that we live in. That element has always been here. You know what I'm saying? There's always been people hustling and pimping noble causes. Some were agents. Some didn't even have to be agents. They were already programmed and already had that battery in their back because the way they've been conditioned under this European for so long. You see what I'm saying? But see, out of love, I dare to challenge things, expose contradictions, and challenge us to love ourselves and put the religious dogma not to the side. People are going to be who they are. I'm not going to keep going at religion. My enemy is the goddamn European and the paradigm, the machinations in which they implemented all around it. We're so busy banging on each other, right? We're not looking up, looking at around us, seeing what's going on. Which a lot of us, not all of us, are so busy, because we should be in the past, but they're too busy studying so much of the past only that they're not considering the future, they're not considering the present and planning for the future. Okay? And that's what we are to do. Here it is, the first people on the planet Earth are following the concepts, the ideas, the religious dogmas of the youngest people on the planet. The first people on the planet is following the religious dogma, the concepts, and the ideas and ideologies of the newest people on the planet. Black man, black woman, it's time that we take our rightful position as parents of the planet Earth. It's the scripture that says the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Well, the paradigm of consciousness is changing, and it's changing for a reason. Okay? It's time for us to break shackles. Some of them shackles are religious. Some of them things we don't need. Some of them things we need to take off the table. But there's a methodology on how do we do that without furthering the division of our people. I say black nationalism because it brings us all to the table to talk about the collective issues. Our collective issues have nothing to do with our individual or group religions. So I deal with the issues at hand that affects us, all of us, no matter what we believe in, what our complexion is, what our economic or financial status is or class is, what our educational level is. It doesn't even matter. When that cracker starts to rain on you even more, because we're living in what I say is a I'm not going to say I coined the term, somebody else probably said it, but this is what my spirit is leading me into saying, a new neo-reconstructionist era. During the time of reconstruction, let's examine what was going on. Okay? The so-called Emancipation Proclamation, the Gettysburg Address, you know what I'm saying? Abraham Lincoln didn't just free all the slaves like some people have misunderstood and have taken into be what took place. No, there was just certain territories in the South that weren't not free yet. So in order to strike a blow to the agricultural economy of the South, okay, that's when the federal government let go of some of the little territories that wasn't free yet. He didn't just free the slaves. There were free territories. There were unfree territories. And then even when it was supposed to be freedom, when we were emancipated in these specific states, because each state was a country, you had slave catchers who was employed, okay, by former slave masters to go out and capture you and bring your ass back. Where am I going with the point? We're living in that time again. During that time, we got to understand there was black people coming into political power. You know what I'm saying? You're familiar with that 1800s, late 1800s, during the Plessy and Ferguson separate but equal era, where you had the right to determine the destiny of your own community, and we had our own resources because all we had was ourselves. We elected our own very intelligent, highly eloquent and intelligent black men into political positions of power. Then the good old boy network turned it up and threw a wrench in that shit, stopped that shit, destroyed that. You see what I'm saying? What's the point? Okay, fast forward to the future. Notice when Barack Obama was in office, some people, oh man, the Illuminati put him here. Okay, whatever. But every white person is not an Illuminati. There's tears to this shit, even if that was the case. Let's be hypothetical. You have a lot of people, okay, who resented that age-old resentment, that age-old fight, that age-old hatred that is encoded in them. CMP, cellular memory phenomenon. It's in your blood. It's in their blood. Started to rear, peace, black man. Started to rear its ugly Caucasoid head again. Okay? Me coming from Massachusetts, Boston. You have people, representatives in our community who are doing a good job in the community. You know what I'm saying? A lot of incentives for the community. Shout out to Jamal Crawford. We had Ted Turner. We had Diane Wilkinson, to name a few. During this time, when they see a black man in political power, people are being inspired. You know what I'm saying? You had Condoleezza Rice, and I'm not down with the whole political thing. I'm making a point. It's a point in this. That even if you're with the politics, you might think, well, they in bed with the cracker. They don't even want you in bed with them, nigga. Because they're looking at what can be inspired by other people who wake up and use certain political knowledge, power, and resources where they can and exhaust those measures to bring about changes that they don't even want you to have on no fucking level. These people are social engineers and social scientists. These people analyze what this can trickle down to 20, 30, 40, and 50 years down the line. You know what I'm saying? While you're just living from check to check, waiting to go to church in between that check, and just waiting for, you know, the Lord to come and make everything all right. There's people planning your future and your demise in the political arenas. So if you're So you may have Diane Wilkerson, Condoleezza Rice, you had Colin Powell, and people like that. And the political witchcraft started to, the political witchcraft, political witch hunt, pardon me, okay? Begin again, like how it did back in the late 1800s. The good old boy network was on the rise again. It's happening again since Obama been in office. You know how many lynchings have been taking place? You know how many lynchings have been taking place? This book goes into a lot of good information because it deals with stuff like the Kerner Commission. The Kerner Commission was an American think tank that went out and basically did research, and a general consensus that was deduced from that was that America is more racist, hostile, separate, hostile, and unequal than damn near it was in the 60s. It has a lot to do with there being more black billionaires than ever. College graduates. Of course, you don't see this on BET on the news. So a lot of us, when they looking around, I don't see that shit, nigga. It's true. You got to put the magnifying glass of knowledge and truth to things. So even though I'm not saying go the political route, I'm not telling you that. But I'm giving you a dynamic of how the opposition, how they sees you, and how they sees you as a future threat if you get into any of their arenas where they harness the power to dictate policy. The political witch hunt begins. Infiltration and the police force, okay, according to the FBI consensus, okay, where's my bag, okay, FBI consensus in 2007, okay, they said that the white nationalist neo-Nazi movements have infiltrated the police forces all across the country. After Reconstruction, the police force started. Neo-Reconstructionism, the killings, the lynchings, new Reconstruction, old Reconstruction. The police started. First one, 1854, or 1851, Boston, Mass, which were deputized, okay, by politicians, okay, because you already had the right to form a militia and bear arms, was your constitutional right. But these people were first slave catchers, runaway slave patrol, then they were deputized into police, policy, and politics. All start with the POL and poli-sci. So that basically the police was there to protect property, okay, of the rich, okay? But at the root of where the police started had to do with the re-enslavement of black people. It was rooted in a resentment and a hatred of your enemy against you. We are seeing that now. We can't just fight that with a specific religious book. I'm not saying put your religious book down. But like Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad said, your religion, be a revolutionary Hebrew Israelite, if you're going to be one. Be a revolutionary Christians. Like you had Brother Albert Klieg in Detroit, the Noble Shrine of the Black Madonna, okay? Who did more as a Christian than many of these loud black nationalists, fake ones, not the real ones. I'm talking about the cons, not the pros. The cons, not the pros, way more under Christianity with the RBG flag and all that in his church. Okay? So, nationalism, Marcus Garvey was able to do what? Moors. Deuce Muhammad. Okay? Israelites, Josiah Ford. These are examples. Christians, many of them, especially in that time in the community, all coming together to fight for the liberation and salvation of black people. One God, one aim, one destiny, where people that believed in different religions and had different outlooks and eschatological perspectives came together under the paradigm of black nationalism. Under the RBG, the red, black, and green flag, which first was revealed right here in New York City in Madison Square Garden in 1920. The International African Liberation Flag. So I say, if that was a template that was shown to work, and that was the biggest movement, even though we know the Nation of Islam is the longest lasting one, and some of the greatest reformers of black people, I say that I want to network with a lot of these brothers, because we got the soldiers and the Hebrew Israelites, we got the reformists, and they're not the only ones in the Nation of Islam, we got the healers in the Kemetic community. Shout out to Asar Rashet, Ron Anefa, Muada Ashby, and many others. You know what I'm saying? We have so much as a people. We're like different pieces of the puzzle that if we all put it together, we will be the big picture that we're looking for. We will be the Messiah that we're looking for on a collective level. You see what I'm saying? Black nationalism is our salvation. religious indoctrination contributes, aids, and abets in our division. You see? So remember, lies enslave and truth liberates. Seek truth always. Shout out to my Dagger brother right here. Mosey Warrior Clan, stand up. All right? Shout out to my brother Benjamin Black Panther too, man. Much love and respect for you. I like what you out there doing, man. Brother's very humble and laid back, but the brother's doing some things. We need people like that on our side. Everybody don't need to always be talking and debating about what they disagree with. We need sleepers. We need people who is doing things. There's tears to this. If you're serious. If you just want some popularity, then you already know what it is. I don't got to go into explaining it. So just keep that in mind, people. And without any further ado, my brother right here, my Dagger Squad brother right here, very powerful, intellectual, young, passionate brother. Talk to the people.
Peace, peace, peace. Yeah, man. This is piggybacking on piggybacking on what the brother was saying. He was speaking about black nationalism and how it's a form of salvation. That is true to a certain extent, but most people won't look at it like that. Most people are locked and confined in their ideologies and refuse to unite with those who want to unite on a collective front. So in that aspect, the goal is to unite with those who want to unite with us. So I do not agree with a lot of ideologies, but we all have one common thing in order. We all agree that we have a specific enemy. We all agree that this enemy has control over the national resources here, and we're fighting. So with that aspect, we could take some scriptures out the Bible. We could take some surahs out the Quran. We can look to some African spiritual systems, and we could all find these specific concepts that we all deal with and deal with the problem. But there's a disease that plagues us, and that disease that plagues us is having the knowledge of self. And what I mean by having the knowledge of self, I'm not just meaning about what you read in the book. I'm not telling you what you gain from what somebody told you who you are. Like, you'll have specific movements that was at a specific time that said you are the Asiatic black man, or you are a black Hebrew Israelite, or you are a Moor. All of those concepts was utilized to show us that we are a divine people and we have an essence, and to unify us for one specific goal. But in saying this, the knowledge of self is really knowing yourself, knowing what is your limitations, knowing what exactly is your weaknesses when you're pushed to the brim. So if you cannot use your doctrine, if you cannot use anything that you've been studying to benefit your cipher and where you at and your family, then you need to throw it in the garbage. And that's what we're talking about. When you're dealing with Pacific cults like Nuwapianism and all this other stuff, certain Pacific things, until they denounce, they need to throw it in the garbage. If you're dealing with the history, as these stories as history, and this is what it is and this is what it is, you can keep that, that's fine. But if it's not doing anything for you, and it's not able to help you control your anger, if it's not able to help you communicate better with your kids, then that's not knowledge itself, it's garbage. You need to throw it in the garbage. So when we're dealing with black nationalism, just to piggyback again off of what the brother said, that means controlling your economy. So how do we do this? You have to start with self. You have to start with your family. You have to start with doing a pool with you, your wife, your sister, your Pacific family that has these same ideologies, and you build from that, and then you show and prove that you be the God. So in essence, the knowledge of self that we're talking about is you. Nothing outside of yourself. What are you doing for yourself? What you do for yourself is going to be seen, and then the people we're going to want to follow. For all of these people that pontificating and constantly talking about this is what the truth, the only truth is that everything must change. Nothing remains the same. Everything goes in a cycle. So if everything is going in a cycle, eventually things are going to return back to a specific time that we were not here. So what side do you want to be on? Do you want to add on to the negativity side that's bringing our people down? Or do you want to add on to the positive side to uplift the people? That's the message. That is the only knowledge that you actually need. Everything else is minute. You become a robot. You become under a spell. You become a zombie. You are a parakeet quoting verses. You are a parakeet quoting surahs. You are a parakeet quoting lessons. You are a parakeet. If you can't become those words and live that out, then we got to stay out of the cipher. Go to the other side of the cipher. It is necessary for us to understand the people that came before us. Those are our direct ancestors. And it's necessary for us to know that Pacific history so that we can understand how we got in the place that we are today, or how far that we got. Now, as the teachings were given to us, let's just say the Nation of Islam. Let's just say those teachings. At that specific time, what was the condition of the people? What were we? Where did we just come from? We have the industrial age in the boom. We have migrations coming from the south to the north. We have a bunch of people who are displaced. We have the urban situation, and then we have the city situation. So if you have a Pacific person come and teaching a doctrine saying that God and devil is not real, God and devil are human beings, and the God is you, black people, all of you together collectively are the God. And you're saying that this man is the devil, and he is the manifestation of evil, and he came from you. So that means that is within inside of you, but do you throw that away? Or do you understand the reason why that was brought up? Does that make it true? Did you create the universe? Or are we the universe? Or is it all a collective thing? So when we now have this new information where people decipher or translate Kemetic texts, and when we look at these Kemetic texts, it tells us that everything you see is a manifestation of the one. If you look at the book of Evolutions, or the book of overcoming the book of overcoming the transformations of Ra and the overcoming of a pet part, so screwed that up. But that will break down exactly that specific science, that everything that you see is a manifestation of the same thing, therefore you are that. So this is the same thing that the people was teaching. But there are some teachings and things in there that you must have to let go, because it has to be updated. If you do not update it, then you stay in that Pacific time. And that Pacific teaching was for a Pacific time. And you must update it and get rid of certain things. And then you add on to it. Once you understand that and you're able to, you can still hold on to your culture, you can still hold on to that philosophy, but now you understand, okay, this was done, that's not real. No dynamite was put in the planet Earth and blew the moon off. No, that didn't happen. So what was the reason for the story? The same thing goes for the Noble Jew Ali. Same thing goes for the Bible believer. The same thing goes for that. So do we throw it away? No, it has to be updated. Whereas now it has to be used to mobilize. Because there's one component that is different then than it was now. Then we knew who the enemy was, because we saw exactly what was going on. Now everything TV, we all blinded. We don't know what the enemy. We're very confused. So what's also different is that back then, out of these movements came progressive programs. It came food programs, employment programs, self-development programs. That was constant that you've seen with every single organization that came out. Even if the products wasn't real. Even if they didn't really do what they said they was really going to do. Morris bodybuilder cream, Nation of Islam soap, all these other Pacific things. But what was that doing? That was producing economics for that Pacific organization. We don't see that like that no more. You can't walk in Harlem and see a Nation of Islam fish market no more. You can't walk down the block and see the malls on the corner with the store no more. We look around here, we see every other international business taking our money out of the community. Now that's what needs to change, and that's what you need to update with the teachings. The updation of the teaching is to manifest what it is for the time. And if you can't do that and manifest that, then you got to let it go. Then you're a zombie. So if you're not changing according with the times, then you are a dead zombie. To continually to parakeet specific information and not adding on about it. Doesn't do nothing for you.